Hello and welcome to Module 1, Simple Sentences. In order to write effective sentences, you need to be able to identify subjects, verbs, and prepositional phrases and be able to understand their functions. Sentences cannot exist without two key elements, subjects and verbs. First, we're going to look at identifying verbs. Verbs are the heart of all sentences in the English language. Verbs are words that express action or link the subject of the sentence to the words following the verb. Being able to identify verbs in your sentences will improve the strength of your sentences. Action verbs are easy to identify because the reader or writer can visualize the expressed action. The following are some common action verbs. However, there are many more that you use every day. As I read these verbs, try to visualize the action. Walk, take, eat, sit, stand, lie, play, work, study, sleep, love, come, go, leave, arrive, plan, start, finish, want, tell, say, lead, help, need, and think. An action verb can appear alone in a sentence, or it can be accompanied by one or more helping verbs. Helping verbs are invaluable because they allow writers flexibility in expressing the action taking place in the sentence. The words below are common helping verbs. Therefore, their appearance in a sentence is often an indication that they are accompanying another verb. These words can only be verbs. Can, shall, is, did, has, must, had, does, will, were, have, do, might, been, am, may, be, was, could, should, are, and would. In the sentences below, notice how the meaning of the action verb changes when the helping verbs appear. I walk home from school. I shall walk home from school. I walk home from work. I shall walk home from work. I can walk home from work. I should walk home from work. I could walk home from work. I will be walking home from work. I may walk home from work. I have been walking home from work. I might walk home from work. I have walked home from work. I will walk home from work. I had walked home from work. I must walk home from work. I was walking home from work. I do walk home from work. I did walk home from work. As you notice in the sentences above, more than one helping verb sometimes appears with the action verb. Helping verbs are sometimes separated from the main verb by such words as not, always, never, sometimes, also, often, usually, generally, and even. These words are not considered part of the verb. Helping verbs can also be separated from the main verb in questions. Have you done your homework? Will you answer this question for me? Have you eaten dinner yet? Another general classification of verbs is linking verbs. Some common linking verbs are am, be, have been, shall have been, is, been, had been, should have been, are, will be, would be, was, shall be, should be, were, has been, will have been. You will notice that these verbs also appear in the list of helping verbs. However, each of these verbs can also be a linking verb when it appears as the only verb in the sentence. Linking verbs do not express action, but do link the subject to the words that follow the verb and describe or rename the subject. Like action verbs, linking verbs provide writers with the flexibility needed to communicate ideas effectively. A few verbs, including look, feel, and smell, can either be action verbs or linking verbs, depending on their context. For example, the cool weather feels good after last summer's heat. That's a linking verb. I feel something under my feet. That's an action verb. The cat smelled the chicken cooking on the stove. Action verb. The cheesecake in the oven smells wonderful. Linking verb. Like subjects, verbs can be compound and joined together by and, or, either or neither nor. In compound verbs, the parts of the verb are often separated. The audience giggled and squirmed through the audio-visual presentation. The student can walk to school or take the bus. Either do the laundry or wear dirty clothes. You should neither slump in your chair nor sit too straight. In the following sentences, underline the verbs twice. Another proposal to reduce the number of firearms in America is gun swap programs. What is the verb? The verb is. Can gun swap programs offer various incentives in exchange for guns? Where's the verb? For example, in a gun swap program in New York City, citizens were offered a gift certificate for toys in exchange for turning in a firearm at a police station. Let's identify the verbs. There's the helping verb. The main verb is offered. The helping verb is were. During a 14-day period in December 1993, approximately 1,200 firearms were brought to police stations in the city. Let's locate the verb. Were brought. The helping verb is were. The main verb is brought. In Los Angeles, guns could be swapped for tickets to concerts and sporting events. Verb could be swapped. The helping verb is could be. The main verb is swapped. Approximately 400 firearms were exchanged in Los Angeles' gun swap program. Were exchanged is the verb. Exchanged is the main verb. The helping verb is were. Other cities are thinking about a gun swap program. Are thinking is the verb. Are is the helping verb. Thinking is the main verb. Various civil rights organizations and church groups have supported these programs and encouraged local sponsors. Have supported is the verb. Have is the helping verb, supported is the main verb. Can gun swap programs really make a difference in firearms reduction? Can is the helping verb, make is the main verb. What incentives will be needed for these programs? Will be needed is the verb. Needed is the main verb. Will be is the helping verb. Communities must either try innovative ways of firearm reduction or accept the number of firearms in America's streets and homes. Must is the verb. Try is the main verb, and accept is the main verb. In conclusion, we've just learned about identifying verbs. Next, we will be moving to identifying phrases.